Hello, everyone. Is the Prophet Michael David, aka Aries, and today we are going to go over the finale of the tribe of Joseph versus the tribe of Judah. Just a real recap from where we left off. That screenshot is the United Kingdom of Israel, or how it was when King Solomon died in 930 BCE, which is ironically exactly 1,000 years after the Second Temple, the Jewish temple, fell. So after Solomon died, the tribe of Judah and all the other tribes, pretty much, except for the tribe of Benjamin, which the tribe of Judah absorbed, including their land, which contained Jerusalem, and then like half the Levites. Half the Levites went with what are now known as the lost tribes to the north and instituted the kingdom of Israel, and then the tribe of Judah, the absorbed tribe of Benjamin, and about half the Levites, because they were bound to the tabernacle of the ark, stayed in the south, and they named their kingdom the kingdom of Judah. But please notice of all on the screenshot, all of the other kingdoms around those kingdoms, especially the Assyrians to the northeast. So the kingdom stayed that way for 210 years, and then the Assyrians came and attacked the north. And 210 years is a lot, but it's really only about 8 to 10 generations, and they were next door. And so, even though they weren't Hebrews anymore, they were a dispersed family. They were not yet forsaken, or at least the tribe of Judah wasn't yet forsaken. But then the Assyrians came, and that's the moment when it happened. So, of course, the kingdom of Israel saw them coming, and of course, the kingdom of Israel asked the kingdom of Judah for help, you know, because they were still extended family. They're only 8 to 10 generations out, and their kingdoms are side by side. I'm sure there was still some intermarrying over the borders, even though that's kind of against the Torah in the first place. But the kingdom of Judah didn't do that. Basically, all the kingdom of Judah did is, it's not our problem. Join us or die. And they did absorb even more of some of the other tribes that didn't want to fight the Assyrians. They were again absorbed into the tribe of Judah, and maybe got a little bit more Levites because they realized they were bound to the ark. I still don't understand why any of them went north. I mean, they're specifically bound to the tabernacle and the ark. But that's it. That was the last betrayal. And after that, that temple was doomed to fall because the Assyrians did come and did conquer the kingdom of Israel and then drug them back to Assyria. And then I think they tried to attack the kingdom of Judah as well. But between the people that Judah had absorbed and the fact that the Assyrians had already fought through the kingdom of Israel, the kingdom of Judah did fight them off. And then the kingdom of Judah lasted a whole 133 more years, in which, in that time, the Assyrians were conquered by the Neo Babylonians, who then proceeded to come south and attacked the kingdom of Judah. And as you can see by the screenshot, they destroyed it and drug all the tribe of Judah and all the other tribes that were now part of the tribe of Judah off to Babylon. And they'd already conquered the Assyrians, so they basically drug the tribe of Judah back to Babylon, where they were enslaved with their estranged brothers and sisters yet again. But instead of being slaves in Egypt, they were slaves in Babylon, except they weren't Hebrews anymore, and they never got back together. The rifts were too wide by then. I didn't screenshot this next part, but I'll just tell you. So they were there in Babylon for 100 years, maybe a couple 100 years before the Babylonians were conquered by the Persians, and Cyrus the Great released all of the Jewish prisoners, and I assume the other tribes as well, and showed them religious tolerances, which is why to this day, even though he wasn't a Jewish person or from the tribe of Judah, they consider him a Jewish prophet, Cyrus the Great, that is. And so the tribe of Judah went back down south, um, into Jerusalem again, and they built their second temple, which was eventually destroyed by the Romans in 70 AD, as everybody knows. But yeah, but that was never a Hebrew temple. That's why I called it a Jewish temple. The first temple was a Hebrew temple, and that's why it had all the components of a Hebrew temple, and thus contained all the covenants that God had with the Hebrews again. But the second temple didn't have all that stuff, and this is the stuff that it basically lacked. The second temple, the Jewish temple, did not have the Ark of the Covenant, which was the physical representation of the covenant between Hashem and the Hebrews again through their patriarchs, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. But the second temple didn't have this. Um, and the Ark of the Covenant is its most famous name, but the best really name for what it really is the footstool of God. And I'm not trying to be derogatory, but that's why when they say that Moses spoke through to God from between the wings of the cherubim on the ark, it's not because like it's a vortex or anything. It's because you're keeping your head. God hovers above, and you're keeping your head down in pious respect to the Lord. That's what it's all about. It's at like the throne above, and then the ark is the footstool with the cherubim at her feet, and yeah, that's what it's really is. And because it lacked the ark and it was not a Hebrew temple, it was a Jewish temple. It lacked the that shenika. I think that's how it's pronounced. As I've said before, it's a pretty good definition, but it has some holes into it as it describes both the Lord and the angel of the Lord. Again, the angel of the Lord is the manifestation. If you're talking biblically, that's the pillar of smoke, pillar of fire. That's the angel of the Lord. So, and the Shenikah pretty much doesn't describe the temple or the ark. It describes it's the tabernacle. It's the personal residence of the Lord and the angel of the Lord on the planet. That's what it is. And the second temple lacked that. And that is what it's all about. And I've said this before, but that's the axis mundi, the center of Earth. Um, so if the temple represents the temple, the residence of God, or the temple of God, the tabernacle represents the personal residence of the Lord and the angel of the Lord. The axis mundi is the exact spot where you set the ark of the covenant. And then outside is the tree of life and the garden of Eden. It's the axis mundi. It's the same thing in the Bible as at the first mountain when God came down, and that's where all the Hebrews were going to live. You were all going to be, or all your ancestors were going to be prophets and prophetesses, but they didn't want to. Instead, they begged Moses, they begged Moshe, please speak to the Lord and tell the Lord that we cannot stay here. The Lord is too intense. The fire is too great. The visions are too scary. We cannot. Please, let us move from this place, or we will die. Please tell the Lord, just send us a prophet like you, and we swear we will listen to whatever the prophet says to do in the name of the Lord. Lies, but that's what they said. So, yeah. All right, that's about it. As I've said many times before, out of all the rabbis that I've ever listened to, um, and you all talk about your history, the three things that you never talk about are um, Yosef, eldest son of Raquel, aka Joseph in the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, patriarch of the tribe of Joseph. You treat him like some minor character in your history, which in fact he's the hero of Genesis. had he made any of Adam and Eve's or Cain's mistakes along the way, none of you would exist. Number two, you don't want to talk about the other tribes. It's been 3,000 years, and you've maybe recognized one tribe in the modern times, or one claim to be the lost tribes. I think it's the tribe of Dan, but as I've said before, God, Hashem, has never made or confirmed any deals with Jewish people, just Hebrews, and you guys aren't Hebrews. And lastly, the third one you never talk about is Jesus, unless you're forced to. And Jesus will have to be his own video, but you can probably guess where it's going. All right, I'm going to sign off, but then after that, I'm going to screenshot one more last screenshot from the Bible, the Torah. It's from Deuteronomy. It's basically after Moses had given his blessings to all the tribes, he basically told them, when you guys do establish your kingdom, this is the type of king that you should be looking for. And I have it labeled not David or Solomon. I'm basically saying, does this sound like David or Solomon? So as always, rule number one, do not touch other people without their consent, aka do not hurt each other. And rule number two, it's all about honesty. Lies are a tick down, aka try not to lie. Have a good day. I'll talk to you later.